in the EC WebEx meeting for 11/16/20. The chair report. I just want to let you know that the clerk, Anne Marie, has asked for a schedule of attendance throughout the year. Now, technically, it's supposed to be submitted quarterly, like first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, but she hasn't asked me, and all of a sudden she says I have to have it by the 15th, and I did provide it, showing attendance at, and then on January 1st I'll have to do the last quarter, and going forward what I'll do is do it on a quarterly basis. But it's strange that last year what she did was go into the minutes that were posted and put together her own schedule, but we're back to me doing it again. Okay. Let's see. Now, just for you, we have that on the agenda, but I had asked IT if they would come in and sort of walk us through the website, and Bob McQueen responded that he's the staff person that handles the website, basically the posting, etc. Would require overtime if they came in, after 7 o'clock with us, and that he suggested that a group of, key people in the EC meet with him and that person sort of between 8 to 5 and report back to the group. So we may have to do that. I responded, I don't see why, an hourly employee can't take a half an hour off to be with us, and they can adjust that. But he did respond. So I don't know if anybody, we'll get into the meeting and then we'll talk about it. Let's see, what else here? The schedule that we worked on last week, I put that in the format, and I think I shared it with you, and I submitted that to Anne Marie, and I haven't got any feedback, so I'm assuming that's good news, that it's acceptable to her. And I got a letter from Rosalind that she wants to resign, and she wants to know what the procedure is. She asked if a simple...
Why is she resign?
Yeah, I know. A simple resignation letter would be sufficient. I believe that's the way we've done it in the past. Does anyone remember? I know Mary, I believe she submitted a formal resignation letter or email or something like that.
Well, David Triggs resigned, so...
Yeah. I'll find out.
Submit a letter. You should submit a letter to Anne Marie McCarthy.
Directly.
Resigning.
Okay.
And probably copy you. Walter, you haven't done the Public Meetings Act.
Oh, I didn't know. Hold on. I'm sorry. Thank you. We jumped ahead here. Let's go back to the... Okay. This is a regular scheduled meeting of the Franklin Township Environmental Commission. In accordance with the Open Public Meeting Act, PL 1975, Chapter 231, adequate notice of this meeting has been posted. Roll call. Razwan Razini, Sil McAvoy.
Here.
Diane Podesky.
Here.
Robin Sudan.
Here.
Arnold Smith.
Here.
Stan.
Here.
Walter Andrews here. Paul Walensky.
Here.
Ted Chase.
Here.
Jessica Johnson. Okay, I didn't miss anyone, did I? Okay, very good. I'm sorry, we jumped right into the chair report. So now I just go back to the chair report, and basically, as I said, Rosalind said that she wants to resign. She can't be fully committed, and she didn't want to be sort of a drag on the commission. I don't know what's going on. So I'll respond to her that she should submit a resignation letter or email. Should it be, and is email sufficient? Ted?
Oh, probably.
Okay. To Anne Marie. We're sorry to see her go. I don't know what's going on, but, and that means that...
she lost her father, and that might have something to do with it. Yeah,
that's probably true. Yeah. All right.
Don't we have someone who is interested in becoming involved with the commission?
I believe that the young lady from the institute had indicated an interest, but I guess
Well,
we have to sort of put it out there that we have a vacancy.
Is
Well,
that the same?
she wouldn't be, she's probably not a township resident.
Ah,
Is it
okay.
prerequisite?
We
Yeah.
did have
Yes.
someone, there was someone who sent an email to us a couple of months ago that expressed interest.
What
and-
if I
But they've never followed up, so.
what
No,
if I
I
move
think
to
reach out
different
to them.
town?
If I remember, our response was, we don't have an opening right now, but we'd love to have you come and, be part of the public.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering whether we should go back to her and say, we do have an opening. Would you like to submit a resume or a bio?
So Jessica, did that come in over the website?
Came through the
Came through our email. I'm going into it now to see.
Oh, okay. All right. But what you can do is
At this point in the year, the council generally holds appointments until January.
okay. All right.
Yes,
But
on
hope-
Tuesday, September 1st, she wrote back and said, "Thank you for your prompt response and the meeting schedule. Looking forward to volunteering." Her name is Maria Santiago. She recently moved to Somerset Franklin and she wants to volunteer.
Oh, wonderful.
and she has some background working with a not-for-profit having to do with climate change, didn't she?
All right.
She was a learning disabilities consultant and an Atlantic Climate Justice Alliance founding president.
Yeah.
Ooh. All right. So can you respond that we do have an opening and
I'm just
there's an
gonna say-
application online that
I'm going to say hello, Maria. We have recently learned.
okay, good. If you take care of that.
Okay, but I'm gonna say we have recently learned of a commissioner that needs to resign and wants to know if you're still interested. She may not still be interested.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
You kind of word it such as whether she knows of somebody who might be interested.
All right. So that's done. Thank you, Jessica. In terms of we move on to the minutes. I sent out the revised minutes that Ted prepared. So those are the ones that we are voting on. I think the time and some corrections that Stan and Arnold had, to Ted were incorporated. And I don't.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes,
All
and
right.
I discovered that a bit of it was scrambled,
Yeah. Okay.
and I scrambled it.
Okay. All right. So can we have a motion to adopt
Yes,
the minutes?
I read those minutes and I move to approve.
All right.
I'll second that.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that the minutes, final minutes for the November 2nd meeting be approved. All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Any
Aye.
opposed? Abstained? Okay. And just for your information, what happened is that once these minutes are approved, usually the next day, I send them to Bob and say, these have been approved, please post. So hopefully, all the minutes are there. But one thing I have to do is go back and check because Anne Marie is checking to make sure that all the approved minutes, are posted. So we should be okay, but I'm just going to double check. All right. I'm sorry.
But I'm afraid I haven't seen the updated version actually.
Oh, you
I'm
haven't?
kind of agreeing on it, but I have the version that was sent on November 10th. Was it the second version or the first version?
I sent the final version to Ted. I think Ted, you sent it to everybody, and maybe I sent it to them again yesterday. I
Wait a
believe.
second. I may be looking at the wrong.
In the the title, it should say, I mean, it should say final.
No.
Well, then maybe you have,
I see only neither from both of you on 10th.
More recent.
Was
That
it?
sounds about right for the revised version.
Was it revised on the same date?
Well, Arnie had sent some corrections he wished made, and I made them and discovered that there was a paragraph.
Well,
Part of one paragraph was in the wrong place. So I fixed that.
yes, and I made comment that I was talking about something that wasn't captured. I have to step out for a second.
okay. That was, I believe Stan was talking about the extra work that he and Jessica are required to do in order to set up the meetings. And then the discussion went on to, there are other groups that have somebody to do that for them and to record the minutes. And
Go easy on the.
Yeah, the issue was that we're taking
Because you do.
like personal time to do this, and
Yeah.
we're volunteers already. And so the concern, when learning that other groups have a paid township staff member who's
wow.
all the meetings and generating all the links and resending all the invites and making sure everybody's email addresses are correct and all that kind of stuff. It was kind of like, well, why isn't there somebody doing that for us too?
Yeah.
So I think that was the key question.
Okay. So I thought I saw.
I discussed that a bit with Bob Vornlacher, and doesn't see any obvious township staff member to assign to do that. Mark Healy already has a lot of responsibilities. It's outside Tara Canyon's open space mandate, although he might wind up asking her to do it.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, Stan has to step away, and he indicated that he would. I don't have the agenda pulled up here. What's the next item? Did we go into?
Some email.
Oh yeah.
So there's really no email. There was one after the last EC meeting in October. There was a follow-up from Caitlin DeCara about rain barrels, and she wants to reconnect with us about doing a socially distanced, safe fall and spring rain barrel
Workshop.
program. So who should I forward this to? Because this is who would be in charge of setting this up if we were to do it?
Well, historically, I've done it, and
I'll send it to you then.
because send it to me. Usually, it was held on a Saturday, and we have to get special permission to open so that the lobby is available. It takes a lot of space, and so send it to me, and I'll take it from there. Thank you.
I just forwarded it. Yeah.
All right. Good.
When would this be?
She said spring. Is that correct, Jessica?
Fall or spring. She didn't give a date. I think she's just interested in
Of
following.
course, we don't know when the building will be officially open.
You're right. That's the whole.
Yeah, that's why I asked the question.
Oh yeah, where you can do something like that. Well, during COVID, it would be risky,
Fall.
even if we could do it outside. Yeah. I don't know. We'll look into it a little, but initially, my initial thoughts are that it would be, quite an undertaking doing COVID, and so we'll see where we land on that. Okay. Next on the agenda is it the new business?
Generally.
Who's looking at?
Plans review.
Let me pull it up. I'm sorry.
Usually plans review comes.
Oh
before
yeah,
new
yeah,
business.
yeah. Now, did you all receive my email saying that there are no plans for review? in the November upcoming meeting for the planning board and the zoning board. And the zoning board, the two temples on Middlebush Road have been moved to February 2021. So I didn't see any new ones, so I did send that out to you. So I think that we have entered all of our comments regarding the temples. Is that right? They did
Yes.
get to.
Yes, so we can move on to the next.
Okay.
Walter,
Yes.
Walter, I did look at the zoning board and planning board websites.
Yeah.
And there are a whole slew because I got an email from Christine Woodbury saying they were waiting for some comments that we were supposed to make.
Oh,
I
really?
found a whole slew of plans that are in some for December. One
Okay.
of which involves a new warehouse on Elizabeth for 67,000 square feet, a 75,000 square foot solar array for the Stein Assisted Living on Cedar Grove. And the Thomas Edison School wants to add a second floor. And I'm thinking that and the warehouse could be excellent candidates for reviving our green roof campaign.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, I was looking for November meetings, but generally when I go in, I look, if the agenda is posted, then I can go in and look. But when I went in and looked, well, first of all, let me back up. Mark simply responded, any plans or what have you would be posted or are posted for, upcoming meetings, but they weren't. So
Well, all of the plans for these things are on those websites with all of the drawings and everything.
Okay.
On
Beautiful.
the town website already.
All right. So do we want to enter some initial comments? I know, Stan, you were able to pull up the plans and
Stan's not on.
okay, he's not okay. Maybe we can come back to that.
Okay.
Yeah, we can get ahead. I didn't realize, well, I actually didn't look at December, so, but you were saying plans in general for wherever they would be scheduled
Yes.
are there and can be viewed by us. Is that right,
Yes.
Paul?
Yes, the warehouse on 490 Elizabeth Avenue has
Yeah.
all sorts of drawings and wetlands and that kind of thing. There's
Oh.
a subdivision for 3 lots on Churchill, and then there's a little Dunkin' Donuts, and the Pillar of Fire wants to add parking, near me actually, and Stein is on. There's about 7 of them between the zoning board and the planning board.
Okay. Wow. All right. Well, we're waiting until Stan comes back and see if he can pull those up and where we can all view them.
Yeah.
But right now, let's go on to the next item. I'm trying to remember. I thought I had my agenda right here, but I don't.
The next item, Walter says, continued stormwater regulations and carbon rates resolution.
Yeah. Now, Robin, I believe that you got a response from Carl Hauk.
Yes, I shared that with all of you. Hopefully you saw it.
Yeah.
I was a little disappointed.
I got a response from Carl Hauk saying that he'd been so busy that he hadn't been able to get to it, that there was a DEP webinar tomorrow that he'd been asked to sit in on. So I responded, well, that should help.
Yeah.
So maybe he will start after that. But
Well, that doesn't help with his response that he gave us.
If I might, he gave us a response saying when it's done, it will go to Ted. To which I responded, will there be opportunity for us to have input? Which was my original question 2 weeks and 2 emails ago. And he has not answered to me, the key point. Do we have a role in this?
Okay.
Yeah, what Carl said, to reiterate, is that Ted will get it when it's done. If it's done at that point, then that means it's done and we don't have an opportunity. So
You're right.
we need to see it before it's done.
Yes.
I think I wouldn't jump to that conclusion. I think it's going to depend on the timing, how late it is when when it's done, because it's also supposed to go to the county.
Ted, the only conclusion that I can come to is based on what he wrote. And what he wrote is, when completed, they will be given to Councilman Chase.
Yeah.
So I think we need intervention from you as our liaison to make sure that we have ample time to review it, or to at least be given something in draft form. I mean, I assume, and I hate to assume, I'll say presume, that he has been working on it to some point, so he can provide us.
My impression is that he hasn't. Say from the,
Okay, well, either way,
I think that what he sends me, I will regard as a draft, and that we should have a chance to comment on it. Of course, if it arrives December 26th, say, and he wants to send it to the county, there may not be much time, but well,
Ted, that's the first time that I've heard that date. I've always heard that March 2nd date, and I never heard about this county
thing. Date off the top of my head.
Well, whatever it is, we'd always heard the one date in March, but not in a middle date where it has to be submitted to somebody else, in this case, the county first, which means it sounds to me like we need to receive it before it goes to the county. So now that just cut our time way down on what our, when we can take a look at it and when we can add something to it or provide suggestions of what needs to be added to it. So I think we need your intervention in some way, either by you to Carl or you through Bob Vornlocker, however it is that you proceed, to make sure that we get it with ample time to add our suggestions, or provide our suggestions.
To me, that's the key issue. Do we have a role in this? Is our input going to be welcome and seriously considered? And if it's not, I would prefer to hear that, because for us to continue putting in enormous amounts of time and effort on things like this, attending all the webinars, so we could be well informed. Ted, I think it's not an easy message to carry, but I think it needs to go to Bob and maybe to Carl, that these folks have volunteered their time to do this. They've studied the issue. They're prepared. They want to have input.
I'm back.
And please prioritize the time so that we can. Because if we can't, that speaks volumes to me. If we're told you're not a priority, it's very sad.
Okay.
All I can say is but he's essentially said you'll get it when you get it.
So,
there's a lot of things to do besides writing this update of the stormwater ordinance.
Well, we're offering our assistance if he's willing to accept it. But just to clarify, Ted, whatever that date is, December 22nd or whatever it is, some date in December.
There's no particular date.
Well, it has to go to the.
I just said that it depends when he sends it to me. And as soon as he sends it to me, I will share it with all of you. But if it's very late in the process, I don't know. You see, the state has said that the ordinance must be passed and enforced by March 2nd. Well, that would, since an ordinance doesn't go into force for 20 days after council passes it. So that would mean council would have to pass it probably by the first meeting in February, technically. And it's also supposed to have county review. I inquired about county review, and what I was told was, well, if it just follows the DEP's proposed format, county review will be very quick. If it's very different, county review might take 60 days. On the other hand, it is not clear how the DEP will even know whether or the process is complete by May 3rd, by March 3rd. So I regard it as somewhat fluid. As I say, I've already said that told him and Bob Vornlocker that the Environmental Commission wants to look it over, offer its help. But remember, a good deal of that is very technical. I read through the stuff, and there's a lot of very technical engineering stuff. That's probably not what will be effective. The things that the watershed suggested were mainly in terms of taking in review at a smaller area, and if there's redevelopment, and I think, we think of redevelopment as being RPM building another affordable housing building. If you're in Princeton, redevelopment means tearing down a small house and building a large house.
Yep. All right.
Look,
I'm still not clear on this county issue that we need. If this is Carl's going to prepare this document, and then it's going to go to the county. I'm not sure of this timeline. Does it go to the county for review before it goes to you, Ted? Or does it go to you before it goes to the county?
I think I think it'll come to me either first or at the same time.
Well, if it comes to you at the same time, then the county would be reviewing something that we haven't been able to provide our input. If it ends up going to the council and you talk about that 20-day review, and we have those 20 days to look it over, then we're being treated just like the public and not as people that are volunteers who have been appointed to the Environmental Commission.
The 20 days, that's a legal thing. That's after council has passed an ordinance. It's 20 days because presumably to give somebody time to file suit against it. Look, it's fluid now. I've been pressing for this. I will continue to press for this. I cannot offer you any guarantees as to when it will be available and what the relative timing will be. I will reiterate to Carl and to Bob Vornlocker, because legally I have to go through Bob Vornlocker. I mean, that gets bent a lot, but
Sure.
usually what it means is I send an email to Carl, copy to Bob Vornlocker, but I will reiterate that the Environmental Commission wants very much to have a chance to review it and make suggestions, preferably before it goes to the county. I mean, I've suggested it should go to the county before, when he has a complete draft, rather than going to the county after council passes it, because then they'd only have to revise it if the county had suggestions.
So maybe what we should do is work on some wording that we would want to put in there regarding green roofs, and just have it ready if we don't get to see it in any,
I think,
in a,
sure, I think that's a good idea. I don't know exactly how it will fit in. I think
well, that's,
I think what it should be in is that it should be specifically cited as a technique for meeting runoff requirements.
Ted, it is already cited as one of the techniques that meets the requirements. What I think we would like to emphasize is that particularly for one-story warehouses, that it be given special consideration because it accomplishes so many things.
Well,
And
bear in mind that green roofs and solar cells are in competition for warehouse roofs. I'm told that at the next meeting of the Public Works Committee, we'll have a presentation from somebody who's coming in with a community solar proposal with the cells to be put on the roofs of 2 or 3 large warehouses. Myself, I think the place where it would be most useful is if there's new buildings such as there already has been along Hamilton Street, where there's very little space to deal with runoff. And if you put a green roof on a building there, then that reduces the runoff that has to be dealt with. The detention basins underneath the parking lot for construction on Hamilton Street.
that's a good idea. I do know that in San Francisco, they have a mandatory living roof, which can be green or solar or combination. And it's not 100%. I think it's depending on the size of the roof, it's 30% mandatory. But the point is, they recognize both of those as a contribution to the municipality.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So Ted, you're going to get back to them to reemphasize, our interest in providing, comments, suggestions, guidance, if you will,
I will do.
early on. Yeah. Okay. Robin, does that help some?
I think it does. I think Arnie's point about us coming up with what wording we might like to see included, so we're prepared the minute that door is open, makes a lot of sense. And maybe Arnie and Paul and I should put our heads together and work on that so we can offer something at the next meeting or two.
Excellent.
sounds like a plan.
Yeah.
Yep,
Okay.
I agree.
All right. Okay, if we move on to, I put in here, the governor finally signed the reduction in plastic bill on the 4th, and it's effective 5/22. And, just to say, what's next? And I know Ted had said that he's gotten input and information, and he shared it with us that, there are those who are advocating recycling and, reducing the plastic stream before it gets to, the stores. So maybe we can engage in some discussion at this point to see where we want to go.
Well, I think there is
one-
a, I'm sorry, go ahead, Ted.
I think there may be a role for the Environmental Commission in bringing knowledge to the stores. Not so much probably to the big grocery stores. They will get it through their associations and so forth, but to smaller stores and to the general public.
You're talking about the recently signed,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah, there's an educational component. Now, the question is, how is that divvied up? Does it come to the county? We get a piece of that, or each municipality?
Well, part of
What-
it is that email is being sent from mayor. I never seen email from mayor.
Mayor Kramer?
Yeah. Like if it's municipal program, now this is state program, obviously. But to pick up on the education component, you know, we just want to make sure that everybody gets the notice. So we are talking, Ted was talking about the smaller stores,
Okay.
and I was alluding to the customers.
Ah,
So, but
okay.
in any rate, we would have to, if we are part of the education program, we will have to develop it and decide which media to use, which stream, and we would need a budget for that because it involves active advertisement.
Yeah.
Isn't this something that perhaps NJEC could develop a model education program? Because we have a year and a half to roll this out. I mean, to start rolling it out now over a year and a half.
Maybe
Maybe-
you can, go ahead, Robin, I'm sorry.
Maybe with NJEC's help, they could develop an outline, suggested methods of distribution, different media to use. And because every environmental commission in the state could take advantage of that.
I was going to suggest that if there is money needed to do some of this, possibly money from the Clean Communities grant can be used for that.
Good point.
And it should be probably provided by the state because it's state law.
And the Clean Communities is BPU.
Okay.
Okay.
Specifically.
Well, certainly the educational component is definitely there. And then I guess there's a special commission or group that is to be developed or that is being developed to sort of oversee this thing. Ted, are you aware of that?
No, I am not aware of that.
Hmm.
Are you talking about the state level, Walter?
Yeah. Okay. Well, I did see. I'll see if I can dig that up and share it with you. I don't know whether it came from Anjac or did I read it somewhere else. But it's a pretty complete plan, if you will. And you know, I don't know what's going to be happening between now and May 22. I suppose all of this education and other things that are needed should be put in place or should be and activities going forward to make sure that when May 22 does come, you know, it's ready to go. So we need to do a little more research on this, and I'll certainly find out about the I'll call it the commission or the special group or whatever, and I'll share it with you.
I would think one of the biggest parts of the education is the easier parts, and that
Yeah.
would be to the suppliers of plastic bags and paper bags. They're the ones that are going to know that they can no longer provide those to certain entities in New Jersey.
Yeah.
So once that faucet turns off of coming from those distributors, those suppliers, well, then there technically shouldn't be a problem
Yeah.
with the ShopRites and all the big stores, and you know the stores that are affected by this wouldn't be receiving plastic bags and paper bags to distribute.
Yeah. And I did read some information, you know, for maybe California and maybe a couple more places where, you know, they have gone forward and they have an ordinance coming into effect. You know, some of the things they have done. One was, you know, they had, I guess it's happening now, but they've begun to sell, you know, non-plastic bags to customers at a very low price to get them to get into the habit. And there are other things, but that's just one. So they can make a little money on the end as well. So, and then there was quite a bit about recycling. apparently, this group or the organization does not feel that the level of recycling now is where it should be. It really should be ramped up quite a bit more. And if I get that information, I'll share it with you also.
Recycling of what, Walter?
Plastics.
Plastics.
Yeah.
I thought you're talking about, we're not talking about just plastic bags now. We're talking about all plastics.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay. Now, I shared with you that I had asked IT to, walk with us through the website, sort of explain the standard operating procedures and what is required of them for under the Sunshine Law. And Bob McQueen was saying, the person that does this is a staff person. If they were to come on here tonight, as a panelist and, stay with us for an hour to go through that they would have to pay them overtime. And obviously they don't apparently want to pay overtime. And he suggested that.
It's not going to take them an hour, number one.
Okay.
Number two, I hear what you're saying about why can't so there's one day they log in a half hour later. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that's worth asking the question. Why can't there be a shift adjustment?
Yeah.
Because they have a labor contract and there's no provision for that in their contract.
Okay. All
Yeah,
right.
but
That's what I was told.
$20 an hour and it's $10. Like we have the money in our budget.
Well, here's another question. Why doesn't Bob do it? He's a staff employee and he's salaried.
Yeah, I don't know. When he says staff, I guess they could be contractors too, right? They are getting a fixed.
Right, but Bob is salaried, so
Yeah, that's right.
So why doesn't Bob do it?
Well, he didn't seem to be. I don't know whether he felt competent to or didn't want to do it. I can share the email with you, but my response, and his suggestion that, he or the staff person meet with, let's say 2 or 3 of us who are really interested and want to know more about how the website operates and how to maximize, our efficiency in using it. That they meet during 8 to 5, and then we take it back to the committee. And I said, well, we will consider that.
I think we talked about this 6 months ago,
Yeah.
if not longer. And I had said that I'd be willing to do that,
Yes.
with other people who want to do it.
Yeah.
We just need to delineate exactly what it is that we want to talk about with them.
Yeah. Okay. Is there anyone else? Apparently that's the way we're going to have to go.
I'm happy to help with that.
Well, so this begs the question: what exactly are we wanting them to explain?
Well, Arnold was talking about having our resolutions placed in a certain place. Do we just say put it on the website, or are we at liberty to say here? And there are certain requirements of the Sunshine Law that make sure have to make sure that they post things in a timely manner. I think I have some idea, but I would want them to to talk to us about that. And in general, I know there are fixed structures for the website. I don't know what they are yet. They don't have any flexibility about making any changes or anything like that. Now, and who does?
Walter, I would suggest that everybody that has a suggestion as to what they want changed on our website, send their suggestion directly to you, and then you can prepare that list, and then we can discuss it out at our next meeting.
That's a start. Sure.
Yeah, it's a start.
Yeah.
I was told by Bob Vornlacher that one additional factor is that our website is and has to be ADA compliant. And therefore, Krista Hegedus, who actually posts things, sometimes rearranges, if not rewrites, materials on the website. I guess should have the same content, but will look different from how it was submitted.
Ah,
But she's the person to talk to.
ah,
And the other thing Bob Vornlacher said is if there's a concern about how fast things get posted, just when you send something with a request that it be posted, just copy Bob Vornlacher, and if it doesn't get posted in timely fashion, he will know.
well, I can say that Bob McQueen is very, when I say post the minute, the approved minutes, usually he will get an email back to me probably within 6 hours or certainly the next day. However, I don't know who preceded him. It was a little different. Now they moved on, I guess.
Yeah,
We'll need to talk about.
Justin Heyman moved on to a job in Texas.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, these are the type thing we want to be enlightened about, and we want to understand exactly how it operates, and how we can best use it to our advantage, if I can call it that.
I have a question. While looking at the green roofs stuff, and also looking at the Snyder Farm / Temple property situation, we found out about the proclamation by the Shade Tree Commission about the tree canopies, and we also found a resolution by the council about supporting actions towards climate change. Those were documents processed by those two groups. I would think it would be good to have those on our website also, even though they aren't our documents, but I would think that would be like a subset of our resolutions, like other township resolutions that are relevant to the environment. What do you guys think about that?
I think that's wonderful, Arnie. I'm all for that.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I agree.
As well
if there are no restrictions, yeah.
As well as our own resolutions. I mean.
Oh yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So let's gather that together, and we can talk more about that. But so Arno and Robin are two people that said that they'd be willing to talk with, walk through the website with whoever Bob McQueen designates. Maybe it's the person that Ted was talking about. So and myself, that would be 3. Is that enough, or do we want to add a 4th person?
Jessica, do you think you would have something to offer here? You're in marketing PR.
I could. If I'm being honest, my schedule has been really just
okay
lately, so I don't want to commit and then have to bail.
Okay. All right.
Well, as I said, the first step though is send whatever thoughts you have on this.
Okay.
Send it to Walter so he can put together that list, and maybe even send that list to us prior to our next meeting, so we can all have looked at it and then have something to discuss at the next meeting, if it's appropriate for the next meeting.
And I think we could all do a little homework, because we don't know what we don't know. If we look on Montclair's Environmental Council web pages and look at Princeton's Environmental Council even Hillsborough, towns that have sustainability officers that are doing some good progressive things. Let's go see what the possibilities are and make our recommendations.
Excellent idea. Yeah.
And if you come across some really good ones, share it with others so we know to go look at them.
All right. Okay. Very good. All right. If we could move on to the next item. Well, I see that Stan is back. Stan, I had said that there were no plans for review. However, Paul was able to go in and saw that in December, there are a number of plans that are up for review. And I was saying that you had the ability, or in the past have been able to go in and pull up those plans that we could look at them. Mm-hmm. So it'd be interesting that there was one, Paul, that you were saying for a new warehouse. since we are, in the warehouse mode and green roofs and what have you, that maybe we could just take a quick look at that one. Is that possible, Sam?
You mean now?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, while you were away, it came up, and we said, well, let's wait until he comes back. But
Okay. Do I go to our website?
Go to the zoning board of adjustment page, and there's 3 on there for the December 2nd meeting. But do we need to review the ones for December 2nd and December 16th? Because that's a lot of plans.
yeah, well, let's just look at the
December
second,
2nd, you need
December
to-
2nd now.
you
Can we
have-
look
None-
And I have to close some of these windows here.
Okay.
Can we look at
Um,
December 2nd, this meeting, and then look at December 16th for the next? meeting?
Okay, do you see my screen?
Yeah.
Yes, go to government. And go to boards and commissions.
Boards and committees, okay.
And it's the zoning all the way at the bottom.
Yeah. And I looked at 2 of them while we were talking.
Oh,
It's
good.
easy. Go to the December 2nd meeting.
December 17th.
No, one more.
Third?
December 2nd. Yeah, that one. December 3rd, whatever. And I looked at the bottle craft, that's just a sign, and the pillar of fire is just 224 parking spaces, and they're using pervious pavement.
Pillar or of Fire International, Western Canal Road, right? And then Steen, Assisted Living,
I don't get that.
and then Rishai.
That one is just a sign. That's easy.
Okay, so what do you want me to click? The first block or second block?
You guys want to do? Well, the pillar of fire is just, we could probably do that one quickly because that's just
Okay.
224 parking spaces. And they said that the total acreage of the property is 144.8, and they're doing all the additional pavement is going to be pervious pavement. That shouldn't have a big impact.
All right. So what exactly were they looking for a variance from, or were they proposing?
I think
Again?
the variance has to do with the parking. I think
Okay. All right.
I didn't really go that deep into it, but I think the parking, even with the 224, isn't enough for the planning board. Does that make sense, Steele? Like that? They would be,
Well, you've
Would
gone
they-
on the zoning board website for this. We should just basically commend them on their use of pervious pavement.
yeah, I thought this one could be quick because they're doing
That's all
pervious.
we have to do with that one, is just commend them on their use of pervious pavement.
Yeah. If you go to the,
Environmental impact statement.
they did a good job with that. There's like one paragraph that sums it up.
So which one I
All
should
right.
hit?
If you want to see it, go to, let me click on my, go to site plan, and then you could see the space.
Which one again?
Site plan,
Site plan?
then you could see the spaces and the properties.
Ah,
No. There's a lot of that soccer field.
This is water, right?
Yeah, they're not near the water. Like, just scroll down to the next page. There, you could
This
see.
one?
Yeah, there's the additional spaces.
Is it this thing, the additional?
Yes.
It feels like it was already part of it.
Right, it's
So it ended here?
no, I think the new spaces are all the shaded because it's
Yeah.
224.
Everything, right? Because this one has different color, so to
Right.
speak.
yeah, those are the additional ones, he said. Yeah.
The new spaces they're getting the variance for are the shaded ones.
Oh,
All right.
That's the pervious pavement that we need to commend them for.
so
And
they
that's what
do. So they do. Only this section is pervious.
Right,
Uh,
well, the other section being older, wouldn't have been. I I mean, pervious pavements only come into use in the past few years in this
Mhm.
township.
Yeah, the
Okay.
environmental impact statement says all additional pavement is pervious.
Okay.
Now this is going uphill, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the water from here, whatever is here, would tend to fall towards the parking lot. And then it slopes, here is the canal, right? Mm. So the pervious asphalt, the water will be retained here and eventually it will flow probably this
It will
way.
go through it, yeah,
It will probably flow into this pond.
right.
All right.
That's probably a detention base.
Detention base.
Is it retention? Yeah, okay.
So basically, we want to commend them. You know, we don't always have to be for. You know, we reviewed it and we commend them for their approach, and that would be it
Be
for this
encouraged.
particular one. Is that right?
Yes,
Say, Paul. Paul, are you there? All right. So I don't know. You can gather the necessary information, paperwork, or whatever from Christine, and provide our comments early on for this particular one. Basically, we are commending them for their use of impervious,
of pervious.
pervious surface cement. Okay. Okay. And I don't know whether we want to go on to another one, but certainly this is essentially done.
Okay, I can close the windows.
Yeah. And
I think
Then
this next one is solar panels.
what do you want me to click? General
Stein.
application.
Stein,
Yeah, that's the nursing home on Demont Lane.
and that's a solar panel field. I didn't look at that.
Which one you want me to click?
Site plan.
Site plan.
okay.
This is Demont Lane. Levinson Boulevard. Where is Levinson Boulevard?
Off of Demont.
That's the driveway to go in.
This is the assisted living, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. So what is this?
Solar
These are,
panels.
oh, solar panels. Okay.
So that over the parking lot?
Where is
So that's the
north
fields
here?
right now.
Okay.
It's adjacent to Demont Lane.
Where is north?
That's a grass right now.
So it's northeast of the existing building.
Well, I'm looking for the orientation.
It's right
There
there.
is the arrow in the
Oh, here.
right-hand
There it is.
Here
corner.
it is. Okay.
Mhm.
Wait a second. That's a little bit awkward. So this is,
Wow, that's
how do I read this thing?
Why don't
Oh,
we do that?
north.
what's the street that's
It's a demon, right?
It's adjacent to Demont.
that's Demont Lane.
Oh, wait, this is, I have a hard time to read this thing. Oh, here it is. Okay,
Yeah.
this is north. Oh,
These
okay.
solar panels
Now it
are-
makes sense. Okay.
They're on the northeast side of the building. If you've ever been in that building to visit people in rehab or whatever, it's as you face the building, it's to the left.
Ah,
Across the street from the municipal buildings. It's on the other side of Demont, a little further down, and it's just off to the left of the building.
So are these on the ground? Or will they be on the ground?
It looks like it, yes.
It says in the planner report, it says ground mounted solar panel.
Ground mounted.
Okay.
So it means they have to chop the trees here. No
Right,
trees
that's what-
here, here, and here.
Planner report though says, let me read this again. It says 428 trees. It says tree value is 428. Arnie, what does that mean? Tree value.
I've never heard the term, but is there some, I don't see anything on there. Is there another page that shows
It means
the
when
pre?
they pay money to the tree fund because they're supposed to replace the trees that they cut down. So that's the number
okay.
of trees that they have to contribute to the tree fund for.
So how large an area is that they are removing trees? Is it like several acres? Are we looking at another situation like the temple on South Middlebush Road?
They are giving it use at least.
Can I make a suggestion that since we don't have to respond to this plan, this meeting, can we all take a look at it and continue to work on it at the next meeting? So
think
we can
this-
read-
If
I
this
think-
is the December 3 meeting of the zoning board, you won't have another meeting.
Yes, there's no other meeting.
And why would, okay, why didn't they send it to us?
I am a big favor of solar systems.
Solar systems are considered beneficial, and
Yeah.
I don't see them turning this down.
But what if the trade-off is that they're cutting down 400 trees to put in solar?
Right.
Yeah, that's a good question.
There should be a page that will show what they have to cut down. In the plans.
Trying to find out what is. Did I open this twice? General application form. No, this is variance application. Because here should be stated what is the variance. This is on undeveloped portion of property. Do they have at least a solar system on the buildings in that area?
That was a long time ago. I mean, long enough ago, I was on the zoning board when,
All
So you
right.
said yes? I didn't hear that.
well, the building there to the right, the
Yeah.
in the early 80s, because I remember it was a very
And here.
tight meeting of the zoning board.
When I look at like Google Maps and do the satellite image of it, the trees don't look, like it doesn't look that impressive as far as trees. Like they don't look that dense. They look kind of like scrawny trees.
Well, yeah, it's like a messy.
It looks messy.
Growth.
Yeah, it doesn't look good.
Pleasing looking, no.
No, it looks kind of like it's okay if they go. Like
There
when
we go.
Dan will show you.
Eyesore, really.
It is an eyesore of trees. It's
So
not
I'm
like Snyder's Farm.
thinking it's this section.
Yes.
The part closer to Livingston Boulevard.
An eyesore, and it's where the deer hang out and cross the road when you're not expecting it and jump in front of you. And they've
Well, that's a
got
separate.
Always solve that
Here,
problem.
this is the area for the
accidents.
deers to be, right?
Yes.
But show us, Stan, where the solar panels are gonna go.
Yeah.
No, that's the part just below Livingston Boulevard.
No, Stan, what you just had up there.
Yes,
Uh,
I'm trying to do both. So this,
This
yeah,
here, that
so
picture there.
yeah, so I think it's like this.
Okay.
So when you say this, is it just that lower right-hand corner there, or is it that whole area between DeMott and Levinson?
Oh, yeah.
Most of it.
Because if
It
it's the
looks like
whole
this.
area,
Sort of the middle of
The
that.
middle.
Yeah, you have a little bit here untouched, but here this thing, right?
that looks like a lot of trees between DeMott and Levinson. You have that one little area at the curve there where trees, it looks like, have come down. But again, this would be the same comments. If we're taking down all those trees there, it would, to me, be the same comments that we're making about the council, about the Temple property, where one, the Township Council's 2016 proclamation to adopt the township tree canopy goal of 42%. So they're not looking to reduce canopy, they're
What
looking,
is this?
and the other one is in 2017, the mayor and council did another resolution.
They have to
About-
take this structure down.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, Stan.
Sorry, I am interrupting.
Well, what might be a good suggestion would be that they put the solar panels closer to Levinson Boulevard where
Yeah.
the trees are much less impressive and in
Right there.
down.
Right.
Because
Well,
it looks like the best trees are where they want to put the solar panels.
exactly. Right there would be fine, but where they're going to put it seems like not smart, I guess.
I think our
So-
comment should be if they're putting solar panels where there are trees have already been removed, that's fine. But the trade-off of solar panels for taking down trees is unacceptable. And we can cite those two proclamations, one proclamation and one resolution, both by the council, about trees and about climate goals.
Mhm.
It goes directly against what the council
Okay,
is
they need
looking
to
to
put the
do.
panels here at first place, okay?
Yeah, if they can put them on a roof, that would be great.
Yeah.
That's the first place to put them.
Well,
And if they need more, and
that's a
on the
separate
parking lot,
thing.
look at the parking lot.
Yeah, but that's Regency. That's not Stein Assisted Living.
Yeah, it's a wrong place.
Okay, so I should be looking.
Detail.
uh, what is this? Is it field, active field?
Yeah, it's just plain field there.
Yeah, that area has lots of, they can do canopies over parking lot. I'm not sure about this. So you are talking about the steel, right? Yeah, okay. I don't see solar panels here. Am I looking wrong?
So it doesn't look like there's solar panels.
And just so you know, Paul's an attendee again, so you probably want to make him a panelist.
Oh, why did he do that?
So we want to recommend that rather than taking down trees, that they consider parking lots on roofs first.
And for the wording that part of the wording anyway that that is provided to Paul for him to submit, I will give Paul some of the wording regarding those two resolutions.
Excellent. Yeah.
Knowing that this goes against what the township is looking to do, taking down trees.
Okay. So Paul, you have that?
If Paul's not a panelist,
No,
can't
he's no panelist. I promoted him.
All right.
Use this terminology, so. He's muted.
No, I'm back.
Okay.
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, I looked at that before that site. And it's 75,000 square feet of the,
Solar?
yeah. So it's an acre, 0.8.
Are you familiar with the site, Paul? Like, do the trees,
No, I've been in the buildings.
Me too.
Okay.
I mean,
What is 1.8 acres, Paul?
75,000 square feet.
No, no. What area are you talking about that's 1.8 acres?
Oh, the area that's in their diagram.
So
The one that shows the
1.8.
angled solar panels.
So 1.8 acres of trees.
It's the site where the solar cells are going to be, or where they're planning to put them, is 1.8 acres.
Gotcha. Okay. Thank you.
Everyone, I hate to do this, but I have to leave, so.
No, you told us, Jessica, so
Okay, good luck.
you
with
take care.
renovating.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Stan, for hosting.
no. Well, no. Thank you for letting me.
Bye.
Good luck.
Thank you. Bye.
So, Paul, you heard the discussion about giving priority to roofs and
Yes,
parking lots over taking down trees to put in
Yeah.
panels. Yeah.
yeah, I'm not sure why they picked this particular area, but
Yeah. Maybe they
probably
don't
from a
know.
cost standpoint- it's probably from a cost
They're
standpoint.
counting on this one as well. Maybe if they do this section, kind of, and then to cover the
Yeah, you're
parking
talking
lot.
about the cleared area there. The area where there's no trees.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
it's fairly small, so I would give them like including this, At least it's closer to the structure, so maybe it will help them. But
Now, according to what I got all my stuff from was the TRC agenda for November 11th. That's where all these plans were listed.
Okay.
And Stein was listed for due on October 9th. Yeah,
October
October
21?
9th?
21?
that's what it was. It's ZBA 20-0007, Stein Assisted Living. So it was
Okay.
on the TRC agenda for November 11th. But I don't know if the TRC held the meeting or not.
Okay. All right. So, I think we can, being that far out, we could certainly provide initial comments, and if we want to provide additional ones later, we can also do that.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
I wonder why is the shape of the roof so weird? It looks like a basin on top.
yeah, like there's a sink to it. Yeah.
Like it's almost asking for a green roof.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? They can have the solar panels here, which is facing southwest and southeast. Obviously, they would add here this section. They could do something. This one. Now, question is how far, because these trees could shade. Well, they have to do the analysis. But yeah, I would, and of course the whole parking lot. There's a benefit of covering the parking lot with solar panels. With
Less snow plowing.
Yeah, snow, exactly. You save on plowing and salt application.
It makes
People
it-
don't have to clean off their cars when they come out from work.
Yeah, and in summer it gives them shade. So
So, Paul, we're going to assume that, they need to be, the idea is great, but they need to be a little more informed about what the alternatives are and the benefits are, taking certain approaches. So, Let's provide all that to them, and plus the outtakes from the guidance or ordinance that Arnold has mentioned.
Right, okay.
When they cover this in one stripe and here another stripe, that would be facing southwest, which is very beneficial because
Yeah.
it would provide the load demand peak for afternoon.
That's where they look for the optimum
I just lost it. Oh, my
direction.
battery went out. I'm off again.
That's okay. I'll get you in again. Yeah. But yeah, and this one is Regency. Yeah, they should have solar too. I mean, oh, look at all these roofs. I mean, this is idle space.
Yeah, but
And they're trying to chop
Is
off the
that-
trees.
is that part of the Stein?
Well, no, it's not, but I'm still saying, you know,
Other buildings, yeah.
for the
Okay.
Stein, they can maybe take this section, you know, and the roofs and the parking lot, you know, and when it's closer, actually, you know, it also saves on wires.
Mhm.
I don't know who came up with this idea.
I
You know, first-
suspect a company that will build them wants
Yeah.
to provide the
I'm
energy.
missing out something. It must be cheaper to chop the trees and put it on the ground versus put it on roof.
It must
Mm,
be.
I don't know.
I mean, if I just look from the profit viewpoint.
Oh, it's
Okay.
easier access on the ground.
Oh, come on.
It's easier access to drill into soil instead of drilling into a roof.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not
Okay.
sufficient. Anyway,
And
shall we
I'm not in any way saying it's a good idea. I'm just saying
Yeah.
those could be reasons they'd rather do it on the ground rather than on the roof or on parking lots.
Okay.
Mm.
All right. Yeah, I think we've looked at all angles here, and so I believe what Paul will provide should be something that they hopefully will consider. I can't see him ignoring it.
Hey, did you want to go on to the next one, the warehouse?
Well, let's do
Paul-
one more. Yeah.
Paul, I don't know if you heard, but I'm going to send you some wording.
Oh, he's still on.
Wait, let me check whether he is connected.
He said his battery went, didn't he?
Yeah.
If he connected, Paul is in. Yeah. Okay, so let me close this one, this one, this one. So the last one is just a sign, right?
The warehouse must be the December 16th meeting.
Oh,
Or-
okay.
There's some under the planning board for December 2nd. There's two. I don't know. if
No,
one of those-
December 3rd, we already went through
Yeah.
because there were two major things. One was the Pillar of Fire International for the previous this, and here is the solar system.
And then
So
if you
shall
go
we?
under planning board, there's some for the December 3rd meeting, I guess. Well, whatever, let me see what. Planning board, December 2nd, two plans for us.
You have to go back to government and pick planning board.
Planning board. Okay, upcoming meetings. There you go. So this is what you mean.
Yes, that's it.
And we have two things. So which one? Minor subdivision, probably not that one, right?
Yeah. Churchill Avenue. Oh, that's over off Veronica.
This one?
Oh, Elizabeth. Okay.
This was the second because I thought the first one was minor. So what is this project about? Diane, is it the one?
I don't know. Wow. They want to construct a 63,477 square foot building with loading docks, parking, driveways. It's a warehouse. It's big.
Oh, it's gotta be a warehouse.
63,000 is small for a warehouse.
Oh,
The one on Veronica is 1,000,000 square feet. Amazon is 600,000.
Now this one is in relation to the Franklin High School where? South or north? This is, north, okay. So it's closer to Easton.
Park Lane.
Okay, what else? Storm management facilities, it is the landscaping and lighting. Office space and warehouse. And I thought that somewhere would be listed the variances. I don't see them.
They probably don't need a variance if it's just a planning board or a very minor variance.
Yeah. Okay, so how about this one? Subdivision application form. Oh, handwritten. This is blah blah blah. I would like to subdivide into 3 separate lots.
It doesn't do anything, not development, it's just a subdivision.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, but it's handwritten. Oh, NA. Okay. Diane, so where do you want me to click?
I don't know. I was just looking on my computer at the environmental impact statement to see if there's any trees and wetland, but
That's lots of pages.
yeah, it looks like there's one.
You're looking into trees, wetland. 810. Unique natural features. Oh, it continues here. They have even noise. I love habitat. That's lots of pages.
Yeah, but probably all saying if there's nothing special. What you want to do is look at, there should be a before page of the site plan.
Site plan, I don't see site plan. Here,
The
Page
first line.
this one. I already opened.
That's it. Yeah, that's.
Was it here? Here it was. It's the same thing. Right.
Yes, a few trees will be cut down.
Site plan sheets 9 to 16.
Ted, are all the little X's on the existing plan for the first site plan, were those all trees, every X?
Yeah, an X means to be cut down.
All right, there's a lot of trees then. There's a lot of X's.
Yeah, well,
this one?
Developing the entire property, essentially. I think there's a brook there at the northwest corner. They'll have to leave that alone, but everything else is clear cut. Oops.
Are you taking a stair stand?
I'm trying to.
Yeah, okay, you're getting there. A little further up.
Is it north of schoolhouse?
No, it's
Should be
right
somewhere.
there where all the trees are.
They were referring to Heller. And Heller
Oh, Heller's,
is here.
Yeah, Heller Park
So,
is
so
there
it
at the
must be
left.
somewhere here. Where is with this
I
one?
wonder what their impervious coverage is. It must be pretty high.
oh yeah, you see Heller?
This is Heller. So it will be probably, but there are residences, so it must be here. I think it's here, right?
No, actually, I think it's probably below this, depending on whether that's where the stream is. Well, that may be a power line.
I think it's right there.
Lots of trees.
Oh, actually, yeah, you can see there's a sort of a road in there that goes to something we've already approved. Yeah, okay, that's not the stream. Like the power line.
Lots of trees.
Do we have people that rake all the leaves where all those trees are?
Well, send them to my backyard if they do that.
We need a strong windstorm.
What is this? I was in Inman Park today and there were like 3 trees fallen from yesterday's wind.
Wow.
Because I was there yesterday and today, and
How big are the trees? Were they old trees or?
what is this? Some of them were big, yeah. But it's not as bad as it was a few years ago when the snow fell. And so there is something here. What is this?
Looks like a meth lab. Hidden in the trees.
And the tower, little tower. What
Cinder
is that?
blocks there, I think.
See what Google allows us? Do you see it nice high resolution, or because I see it very nicely, smoothly moving? Anyway, I think we are toying out. I'm playing here. So,
We haven't been
yeah.
able to find Heller on that, huh?
No, Heller is.
You can see the big building off to the left. That
Yeah,
fronts on Heller.
this is Heller.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Okay. So what else do we want to see here? Lots of trees. What is this?
A lot more money to the shade tree fund.
Uh, I think eventually some of the parking lots on Davidson are abandoned now.
And what was this, a 60-something thousand square foot warehouse that was going in here?
Yeah,
Yeah, almost 64,000.
So when it comes to stormwater management on something like this, where we talked about do no harm. They're taking away just about everything that is absorbing stormwater if they're taken down. Can we find how many trees they're taking down? Is it on here?
Too many to count.
Well, we can make a recommendation that they provide a green roof to offset
yeah.
that loss.
Yeah, yeah.
But we can't
Force it.
I think that this town is much focusing on warehouses. I mean, speaking of employment, how is it going to help?
they're building warehouses madly because everyone wants their goods delivered to their home from the warehouse.
I understand the benefit from this viewpoint, yes.
Well, they're good tax ratables.
Yeah.
Better than somebody building homes there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
You don't have to put any kids in
Although
school.
we have to share
Exactly.
the road with all the trucks.
Wow.
Veronica, what it used to be a few years ago and today, you know.
It's the
The
business
difference.
and industry zone. Pretty soon, won't be any vacant land left.
I think we really want to stress that
Just looking at all the details, it won't bother with it.
Boy, in 10 years, that Weston Canal exit on 287 is going to be completely clogged by big trucks.
Traffic study.
Oh, traffic, they won't tell you they're not going to change anything.
Yeah, they'll tell you that it's going to add 1 truck per hour.
Yeah, they always tell you that.
In average, including weekend and night, no? But they will all come during peak traffic hours.
Hey,
What is that? There are lots of. What is this number? These numbers: northbound, southbound, morning, evening.
that's the total traffic on Elizabeth Avenue,
Ah,
existing traffic volumes. They're going to say they won't affect the traffic on Elizabeth Avenue.
so they don't have table with the projection that.
Has anybody ever seen a plan where the study said that it's going to have a major impact on traffic?
No, never.
No, because they always compare it to the previous warehouse being built. And from one warehouse to another, you have always only incremental increase in traffic. But if you compare it to what it used to be 5 years ago, or, you know, something like that, oops, you know.
They're never going to do that.
Yeah, of course, because they don't have to.
We're hiring traffic experts that will make them look good. The only way to
Exactly.
do that is when you hire your own traffic expert.
So these are the projections, yeah.
Yeah, but we're not allowed to consider that anyhow.
8339 total.
But the public can.
Just focus on how many trees they'll be cutting down.
This will affect the traffic to school. Because school is right next to it.
Again, we can use the same wording about the council and the proclamations and the
Yes.
resolutions and suggest because of this, it would be a strong recommendation that they consider a green roof to help with their stormwater management plan.
And
Exactly.
or solar panels and
Well,
or.
solar panels don't help with stormwater management.
Right.
Yeah,
Green roofs do.
they help with
Now,
the
this is
climate.
an
So
example of where they're building on most of the lot. So they need all the help they can get.
Well, they can put solar panels over the parking lot
Yes.
and green roof on the building.
On the roof, right.
Yeah.
Not
Excellent.
not want, because if you got a warehouse and big trucks coming in, you're not gonna want solar panels where the trucks are going.
Well, you can make the solar panels a little bit higher.
You put solar panels over the passenger vehicle parking.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
employee parking.
Yeah.
yeah, well, that's not too
Sheet
much.
showing all the trees being cut down.
You can make a little bit of a solar maybe here, maybe here. But that yeah, there is a little space for solar. But definitely, if they want to put something on the roof here, then solar is lighter than a green roof. But they have to do something about the storm management.
Right, and solar is more beneficial to the building owners.
Well,
It
yes.
helps with their electrical bill, whereas a green roof will help with not only stormwater management, but it will also help keep their energy use down also.
Yeah.
But it will require maintenance, and they may look at it from that viewpoint.
Well, you know what? They want variances. They should have to, you know, there's got to be a give and take.
I agree, but right now we don't have the legal wherewithal, because if we turn them down, they will simply take us to court and we will pay increased legal fees, and the judge will grant it to them.
No, I understand that, Seal. I perfectly understand that, but it's still something that we can make the strong suggestion or recommendation, however you want to put it.
Yes, we can do that.
Do they want to be good neighbors in Franklin Township?
I'm happy.
Much is it going to cost them, they will say.
Right.
The argument here is that the building is occupying a substantial part of the lot, and therefore the runoff will be considerable.
Yeah,
So
the
this is a good
impervious
case for
surface.
green roof. See, they've got a fairly small detention basin there at the left side, at the back of the property.
This
and
one,
draining
right?
into, and then there's a bit of a brook.
And where does that brook go? Does that go underneath Easton Avenue to the canal?
Eventually.
So
Let me see.
all those trees could add to a lot of flooding, the loss of those trees. Think of the potential flooding on Easton Avenue, and we already have flooding on Easton Avenue when there are big storm events.
Flooding on Eastern Avenue when the river rises so high as to flood it.
The thing is, the water goes north in this case. Sorry, I wanted to zoom out. So if the water does not absorb, then everyone in this direction, Catalan Pharma or this shopping mall, could be affected as the water is going in their way.
I think the brook will go under Elizabeth Avenue and off to the east and join the Raritan Brook that runs sort of between Elizabeth and Davidson.
That might be the brook that Stan that you and I walked.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
I'm trying to find it. This one.
Yeah.
and it continues
Oh,
behind 287. I wonder where does it start?
Yes. Yeah, I'll be out soon.
well, it has a number of tributaries.
It's difficult to spot, and it'll be underground, I guess,
Sure.
at this point. At this point.
Now, the brook is, you could see on the map, on the plan, that the brook continues east, just to the north. You see all of that dotted line with the triangles on it. That's the brook.
Oh, that's a brook.
And
Ah,
it's heading east. It'll go under Elizabeth Avenue and then join that brook that is between Elizabeth and Davidson.
Do we know who owns the property? We never figured that out. Who owns the property that's on either side of that brook? I don't know if we ever determined that.
Where on the brook? On where you walked it?
Right.
No, it's the Ukrainian church.
here is the blue line.
Yeah. Yeah,
Here's another tributary here. They're actually more likely to be in wet spot because these two tributaries are merging here, just north of them. Yeah, they have to compensate somehow with the pervious something, underground tank or something. I don't think they have it. They have it planned like that. They have only detention basin.
and then that feeds into the brook.
Yeah, but everything from here, where is the water gonna go from the gutters?
No, it has to go to that detention basin somehow.
Is there seal, Ted, maybe you guys would know, how do they determine the size requirement of a detention basin based on the size of the lot, the property,
Should
how
be,
many
yeah.
trees are coming down, how do they determine what is required as far as that detention basin?
The engineering department goes
Yeah.
over those.
That's engineering.
I think it's actually in the stormwater management regulation. And all the technicality that Ted was talking about.
Probably is.
Engineering has to review the detention.
Yeah,
And-
CME would review it.
And they could make the determination that they need a
Whether
bigger
it meets-
detention?
Yeah,
It could.
Okay.
if engineering signs off on it, then there's nothing that we can do.
Right.
What does this dash line represent?
It's the boundary of the buffer along the stream corridor.
Wetlands buffer. I see.
So the fact that this plan has gotten this far, does it mean it's past the current stormwater regulations? Because there are green infrastructure requirements currently in the regs.
Yes, yeah. It means that they've already reviewed it.
Okay.
And now it's coming up for final site plan.
There'll be engineering comments will come to the planning board along with environmental commission comments.
Right, so if engineering finds anything wrong, then we can require that they make those corrections and take care of whatever engineering is found.
Oh,
Okay. And will it automatically come to us, or do we have to watch where it goes and see what engineering says?
well, it's a question of whether they have to revise the plan, and if they revise the plan, it should come back to the environmental commission.
Okay, thanks.
All right. So Paul never did get back on, did he?
He's here.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Wait a second. No, I don't see him. But he was here.
Yeah.
Anyway, what else do we have on agenda?
Few other things.
Did you want to look at that other, there's one more plan, the Churchill Avenue subdivision?
Yeah.
That's that's three lots, but it's a wooded lot.
Isn't it the handwritten?
Yeah. If it's just a subdivision with no development, then there's no environmental effect at this time.
Yeah, subdivision.
So I'll bet they're planning to build houses.
It looks like they're it looks like there's going to be houses, but I don't know. It might just be like the footprint. You scroll.
Yeah, typically they would show
I'm trying to find Shirley. Okay.
footprint of a house, even if they don't intend to build one right away.
You want to scroll down?
Yeah, if you scroll down, you could. Yeah, but it's just they.
Very
It talks
little.
about they're not going over impervious or anything. It said maximum 30, and they're only going to have 15. That's existing. There they are.
19.5. 1,000 square feet. Did you get your answer? Let's scroll down.
Does this look like we're definitely building the houses, Ed?
Yeah, it does.
Because they have like, I looked at it.
Well, if they do the subdivision, then this, they probably
Proposed dwelling.
the houses.
Yeah, there are proposed dwellings here. What is this? Soil stockpile.
But you see, building a single family house on one lot doesn't have to go to the planning board. It's the subdivision that has to go to the planning board. Cookie cutter houses.
These are trees?
There's, if you go to 186 Churchill Avenue on Google, it's a wooded lot, of course.
Wait a second, am I lost?
Okay,
I got lost a little bit. Oh, wait a second.
You
Yeah,
had-
here.
Churchill should have been. There's the railroad. Okay, yeah, you got to go left again.
I was moving too fast. Hamilton, Aldi. Oh, here, Department of Public Works, my favorite. Okay, here.
There's Churchill.
where you lurk in the lot.
We
Yes,
learn
it was
here.
probably that
There it is.
stretch still
Yeah, right
wooded.
there.
Was it? Yeah,
That's it.
So they will have to chop another trees here. So get ready for this, right? Because here is residence, here is residence. So they want to have 1, 2, 3.
3 houses in that area,
Mm.
yes.
And what's further down here? Whatever. Yeah, there's also activity here. This one is finished, right? The church by now.
yeah.
Wow. Yeah. I like that one. It should be mandatory. Okay. Anyway. So somewhere here should be also the map with all the axes, no? Actually, no, not yet, because it's subdivision. So they are not talking about axes. Cutting the trees, not yet. It will be the next.
That's when they come forward with a site plan.
Yes.
All right.
Too many windows. Okay, anything else here?
I think that's the last one, isn't it?
For December, early December, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So for getting to Paul to give him, the comments, maybe one or two of you, Diane perhaps, and somebody else, can sort of summarize to Paul for the ones that he was not on, and he could move those forward. It doesn't mean that we can't provide more comments later, but hopefully it should be complete enough that we won't have to. I don't know what happened to Paul.
Well, he said his phone died.
Okay.
No, he could plug it. Shall we open to public?
Yeah.
I move to open public session.
The second?
Second the motion.
Okay, move in second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right.
Open to the public. Anybody there?
Franklin reporter.
I'm good. Thanks very much.
Okay.
Okay, thank you for being here.
Sure.
I'll move to close to the public.
I second.
Then move in second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right.
And I press the button. Okay.
All right. All right. Let's see if we can go through the rest of the agenda. It's probably mostly one other new business item. It says we are still in it, I guess, related to.
That was from me. Walter, if you'd like.
Yes.
About that. We are still in.org is an organization of corporations, municipalities, state governments that have pledged to under the Paris Climate Accords. However, I think with the upcoming change in administration,
Yeah.
may not be important that we sign on to that. I'll be curious. I will follow what they're doing now with the
Okay.
change in administration, and if there's an opportunity for us to do something to me, the most valuable part of joining is you make a contribution. And the contribution is a checklist of initiatives that you endeavor to undertake to help with climate change. And those lists are customized based on the kind of entity you are. So for a municipality, there would be certain things that we could do to help move us towards reducing the overall emissions for the township. And I think it was even more meaningful when we were out of the Paris Accords, but we're going to be the fastest out and back in, I hope,
Me too.
within the next couple of months. So it is an interesting list of contributions. If you were interested, you go to the website, wearestillin.org. Go see who's in the state of New Jersey. You'll be amazed to see the big companies and the universities and the county governments and municipal governments that are in. And then you can click on sign the pledge, and you can move past that and see what the contributions are and the kind of things they're urging different types of members to do. And that alone is a good compass, I think, for the kind of things we could be aiming for. So I'll keep an eye on it, but
Okay.
if you
Good.
have some time, just go explore it. It's Johnson & Johnson's on that list. Rutgers is on the list. The city of Hoboken is on the list. It's a wide variety and very interesting.
Okay.
So
All
it's
right.
something that we should get the township to commit to.
It would be wonderful, Ted.
Yeah.
Why don't
But
you,
again, if it's at federal level again, then
well, it's broken down to the state level too. And if you
how
look
is
at
it?
you go in by state, and then you see who is in it for your state, and then it's the kind of member. Are you a government entity? Are you a corporation?
What's the site? What's the website?
wearestillin.org.
Oh,
Robin, do you want to make a motion to suggest that the township get involved in this?
Well, why don't you give me till our next meeting? Because I'm curious to see what they say with the administration. Because if right now, as you look at what Stan's brought up, the emphasis is on we've pulled out officially as of November 4th.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Joe Biden said one of the first things he's going to consider is rejoining the Paris Accord.
That's my point.
Yeah.
That's why I think give me 2 weeks to follow the website and see
Good idea.
how they
Good
handle
idea.
it. But if you've got 10 minutes and you want to poke around, it is very interesting to look at.
Okay. All right.
But Robin, I guess I'm a little bit confused in that if Biden brings us back in, does that preclude the township from becoming a part of it?
What I don't know is how the organization might reshape itself. So it may take a different public profile
Okay.
because right now the emphasis has been still in because the country was pulling out.
Gotcha.
So they may just reorient that a bit, which might make it even more appealing to the township. So let's see how it evolves. But I would encourage you to go in and see who's in and see what the contributions are, even before we talk about it some more, because I don't think those will change.
Okay.
So
The other thing that I'm glad Biden can do is he can stop the leasing of the Arctic wildlife.
Can
Oh
he?
my goodness. Yes.
He can't
He
stop.
is able to stop
You
it.
can't stop it?
Yes, he can stop it.
He can, because
Yes.
Trump's going to announce tomorrow, I think. Is it 19 million acres?
Right.
My goodness.
Well, they announced on the news that he has the ability to stop those leases.
That's great.
Yeah,
It's really encouraging.
that's a big relief.
Yeah,
I just saw that 6 Mile Run Church is in.
that's right.
Oh.
Robin, you heard of them, huh?
I think I
Something to
have.
do with that, Robin?
Maybe.
All right. I'm going back to the agenda again. That's good.
Sorry, I was just too much inundated with this one.
Can I, if we're looking at the old business update, I can just give a few things. Under item D, the BPU underground utilities letter.
Yeah, go ahead.
It was a circus trying to get somebody to answer a phone at the BPU.
Oh, I
But I
bet.
finally got to an assistant for Upendra. And she said she would forward my email to him because I'm asking him if he would please respond to our letter.
Okay.
So that was today. And hopefully I'll hear from Upendra in a couple of days. And I'm going to try to keep that conversation going because I'm sure I'll get us some nice patent answer. And I'm going to just try to be a little bit of a niche and see if we can't really learn something. Also on this list, the BPU Community Energy Planning Grant. I spent some more time really going through their materials, and we are best approaching that with a project in mind, a particular project. And it might be community energy aggregation, it might be community solar, it might be electric charging station, it could be any number of things. So in order to apply for the planning grant, we need to have a project in mind, and we need to have community partners that will work with us on it. So we can't even solicit community partners unless we have an idea of what we want our project to be.
Robin, do we need also someone who is salaried employee from the township to actually
Help us
yeah,
supply the data? Yes, ideally, this would be best if we had a sustainability officer.
it's because it's actually not even within our scope, so to speak.
Well, other environmental commissions have applied for this, but they may
They
have a
did?
lot more clout within their towns so that people respond to their requests.
Yeah, well, that I don't see it here, you know.
Yeah, it's discouraging because it could be quite wonderful. I could see us, if we could do something that would help the first ward, help the Hamilton Street Improvement District, help all that housing between Hamilton Street and Route 27. You've heard me, encourage LED lighting at the food bank. If we could do an environmental justice kind of project that would really help that part of town, I think it could be quite wonderful. And I think we could solicit community partners. Like I could get First Baptist Church of Lincoln Gardens to help us. A couple of the other.
Can we do direct install? No, it's outdoor. No, we cannot do direct install. But heard of the direct install?
Yeah, I think we should be thinking in terms of what kind of projects would we like to pursue. We've talked about community energy.
Aggregation, yeah.
Yeah, we've talked about some of these other things. And maybe we already have something we could build on. I mean, we have Stan's expertise on electric vehicles.
Yeah, well, but I don't even get access to the data, so it's frustrating. I'm being told leave Carl alone. He is so busy, and and it took me a minute, including the walk around, to get the data from the charger. So I don't know. I think I'm just politically incorrect. So.
Well, I just encourage you guys, if you're thinking about projects we might undertake, or if you do take a webinar, you read an article and say, wow, this would be great for Franklin. I think we could channel that through this energy planning grant opportunity.
I'm also volunteering with Sustainable Princeton, and what they do, they have a partnership with Princeton University. So they have a student group, and they do calculations for them about how each program or potential program has impact on carbon dioxide emissions on climate change. And it's so amazing how those students are engaged, and they have advisors, and they have a spreadsheet, and it's just like Montclair has a good collaboration with the Montclair University. So Princeton, they have with this Princeton University, and we could do something with Rutgers, right?
Yeah,
absolutely.
and
Oh, we could
engage
do more.
students to have then run some calculations about this proposal, that proposal, you know, how much would it cost, how much would be the benefit and all that thing. But then we have to have a dedicated employee, right? We are circling around the same concept,
Ideally,
right?
yeah.
Who would be the contact point to,
Mhm.
Well, I think part of the
I don't know.
beauty of the way this grant is orchestrated is you have to have these community partners. Now, when you have business, not-for-profit, um,
University,
government,
yeah.
and you have them as your team. Now, when you go to the town and say, town, we want this information, it's a lot harder to say no to this
Yeah.
broad base of representation than it is to say to just us.
Mm.
So it does make some sense that you come in with a broad base. You're trying, I think you merit a little more attention from the town, but I think we have to focus on a project. So I'll
Okay.
continue to read but I'd really be open to hearing people's ideas, what might be worthy projects for us to do. Because
Okay.
to get Rutgers people, we can, but we have to pay them. And that's where the planning grant could come in. You know, if we could get 17,000 or 20.
Well, for the paying, I can ask Christine Symington how she put the group together.
Good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if you don't have any success with BPU, your idea of having a study done of what the cost would be with replacing regular lighting with LED lighting, those costs as opposed to and then the savings and how long the payback period would be.
Yeah, and then I calculate also the carbon emission savings. Yeah.
So having a study like that done,
That's
because
a small,
I'm not confident you're going to, have any luck with the BPU doing it.
yeah, that's a good point. Okay.
So if we could get engineering students there at Rutgers, that would be great.
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. I believe we've just about, in one way or another, touched on most of the other ones here. Sustainable Jersey. Ted, anything new there?
Nothing new.
Okay. And we talked about the plastic BP underground utilities letter, LED lighting. Yeah. Underground utilities. We had Mark give us info, and we pretty much know where that stands. Stream cleanup 21.
Right. So I contacted Watershed Institute and Lower Raritan Watershed Partnership with our proposed dates, April 10th and 17th as a backup. Didn't get any response from Watershed Institute yet.
Okay.
But Heather from the Lower Raritan responded that both dates actually she has reserved for her. They want to visit elderly relatives with the expectation that the COVID will be over.
Mm.
So if the COVID is over, she wants to use those 2 weekends for this. And so I was thinking, what are the alternatives for us? The weekend before the 3rd is Easter, so that's out. And the weekend before, it's March 27th, I believe. And it's March, right? So it's much cooler. And the weekend after 17th is 24th April. So now those two alternatives are actually spaced out by 1 month. And I just don't know what is the best. What do you think?
Well, I would ask Heather, can she get them organized, even if she's get Lower Raritan Watershed Partnership organized to participate, even if she herself won't be there? Then you can stick with the original dates. Besides, I don't think things will be that much better. We'll be just going into a mass vaccination about then.
You're right.
Hopefully, hopefully.
Hopefully.
Okay.
Because they're saying they're going to do first responders first before they get to the public.
Yeah. Those who survive the winter will get vaccinated.
Well, it might not be a laughing matter. Just-
So everybody quarantine, please.
Yep.
So I'm laughing. I should not, but my family in Czech Republic, they picked it up now. My aunt, she was taken to hospital and stuff, but I will not go into personal details.
Oh, sorry to hear that.
Oh, I hope she's going to be okay.
Okay. If we go down the list here, I know we floated out the Amazon green roof suggestion letter, and I don't think we've gotten any response directly, but hopefully it's still percolating, if you want to call it that. The sustainability officer, we certainly have explored that with Bob Bonlacher, and it's a great idea, but it's something that we should aspire to regardless.
We mentioned that expression today multiple times already. Okay, so we can just check this off.
I will repeat my suggestion that the sustainability officer's job can be combined with that of the grants coordinator job that we lost several years ago. So if you have the person doing both those jobs, it might be more palatable to the township to hire somebody for that.
Yeah, probably get more bang for the buck. Yeah,
that would be right. That would hopefully be right.
Okay, well, let's not let's hold on to that idea and see if we can advance it. Okay. So don't take that off yet.
Well,
all right.
This is not master file, I'm writing here, but it doesn't make any impact actually.
Yeah. Okay. And
well, our next meeting is December 7th, Pearl Harbor Day.
It is? Oh my goodness.
We don't have another meeting this month?
No, this is the last one this in November.
Oh, December 7th.
Yeah. So you were just reminding us, Sil, that
Yes. I'm just reminding you because
okay.
Coming to the end of the meeting.
It's a very historic day. Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. All right. All right. Do we want to open to the public again?
I'll make a motion to open to the public.
Get a second?
Second.
All right. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right. Let's open to the public.
Aye.
Anybody there?
Yeah. Hey, Bob. Just another one.
Okay.
You want to say? No.
Okay.
Okay, I'll motion to close to the public.
Get a second?
Okay. Yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
Close to the public. Okay. Do we want to talk about adjournment?
Okay, I'll motion to adjourn.
Second.
It's been moved and second that we adjourn the meeting. All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you so much.